legitimately don't know. I've no idea, I'm a clueless idiot as to how this interface works. It's never the same when I come back. Yeah, look at mess. And I don't care. Hey, I'm not one of these shiny people. I don't mind appearing like unshaven, a little bit grungy, you know. Oi. Hopefully this works. Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm eating on stream, and I'm probably going to eat a bit more. I don't know when that started working. I started OBS, walked away, came back, and it started to work, so it might go out at some point. I'm playing on the 286, is what I have rigged up. I did record a Let's Play of this game. What the hell's going on with the camera? No, don't do that. There we go. Oh no, what broke? It's probably the keyboard been dodgy. Probably. Oh, come on, don't do this to me. Luckily it's not broken, it's just the keyboard is shit. Like, it has one of those PS2 to AT adapter things on it. And I don't think the connection's very good. We'll get there. Oh, that sounds like we actually have input. Oh, the lag is so... But yeah, I'll reset the machine and hopefully it won't do that again. It might beep anyway though, because it might get a floppy error. Because if keyboard detection fails, plugging a keyboard in after the fact and pressing F1 doesn't work. It's probably just something that later keyboard controllers got, and I don't know if we'd be able to put one in this motherboard, and I don't really want to try, because I'm quite happy running this thing as just the janky mid-80s piece of shit it is, you know. As we know, that's why I'd always wanted this machine. But assuming they haven't lost it, soon we will have a Turbo XT, and then we can see how badly these things really can run. No, I don't need to patch the border, do I? Because this is actually on an EGA card. Yeah, we're on Bastardizer 4. Trying to find a balance between turning the little fan towards me and turning it towards the bastardizer is is a bit of a challenge. See, if I turn it too far away from me, I get too hot because the weather's got hot all of a sudden. Sorry, that's going to happen occasionally. I'm a human being and I have a stomach condition that if I turn it away from the bastardizer too far, that gets too hot and breaks down. I don't know how red this looks to you. The red is on the output of the Chinese thing. I need to do something with that and put trim pots on or something. It'd probably be easy to make a little thing that would hang off the header. Like, I don't know. I'll come up with something. The thing with like VGA connectors is they're not actually cheap, and because they use those weird staggered pins, you can't really solder them to strip board. Like, I don't like soldering cables to them. It never seems to last very long. So I found that buying those breakout things was better. I have one down here. Yeah, I found that buying those things was actually better, but they're not particularly cheap either. But I guess we could use those and come up with something. Very ugly wiring, but that exists to do one job and one job only. Yeah, we'll start a new game, and I'll enable the gamepad at some point just to like, show how broken it is. You can't beat this game with a gamepad. Hey, wait a minute. I set that to public. Don't do that. Piece of shit. Are you going to do it now? Yeah, I bet you fucking had better. There, what a piece of trash. Yeah, this interface is definitely broken, isn't it? Oh no, you see, he's going to the Altar system. What was the Altar again? The 8000 or something? I can't remember. It was like a hobbyist PC back in the 70s. Well, not even a PC. Well, I guess it was, because it wasn't like a big multi-user system, was it? So I guess you could argue it was a PC. I mean, it was a personal computer. You sat in front of it and used it. Yeah, I'm telling you, his name's Steamwits. He's got a big nose and is obsessed with riches. I didn't design this game, you know, but Twibbles might be the biggest fad since Pet Mood Slime. Well, this. Oh no. You see, he's just exploiting animals with no regard for their well-being or anything. I don't think he's a very nice bloke, this Milo, to be honest. It is called Altar. Yeah, there's like nothing I can do to get rid of the red, unfortunately. Well, there might be. Maybe OBS can do it. Not in there. What about in filters? I don't know what any of that stuff does. Gain. Well, if we can adjust gain for individual colours. No. Your steering's broken up. Well, sucks to be you, Milo. Yeah, I don't think I can do anything about the red, short of modifying the hardware. I spent ages chasing it down in the bastardizer, when it's not actually the bastardizer's fault, you know? Yeah, I can do nothing to get rid of that. Like I said, you just have to modify the hardware. It ain't going to run glorious on this machine, but the system requirements say it'll run on an XT. Howdy, Nintendo. So if they think it'll run on an XT and it doesn't even say Turbo XT, then well, it should run just fine on my 286. Yeah, well, I don't have to patch the border out. It's on a real EGA card. I've fixed the Everex. What have I done with that? There it is. Oh no, my light. Yeah, I fixed the Everex, so it can go back in, like... Oh no! No, it's gonna kill me! So it can go back in, like, when I can be bothered, but... I'm not in too much of a hurry to do it. But yeah, it's now repaired. And that's that really snowy CGA card. Joke's on you, game, there's no fucking life system. Yeah, I'll turn the gamepad on a minute and like observe that texture corruption. I'm sure I played this a little bit on a stream at some point, so I think it's probably already been seen, but we'll do it anyway. Because I recorded a Let's Play of this, but it wasn't very good. It was more just to keep me sane while my stomach was really bad. Joystick. Yes. I probably will upload the one of Stunt Car Racer though. Oh, there we go. Joystick's on. You see, it doesn't work right. Yeah, Madden's games, Frankie Madden bro games, they're a bit cruel. I still think the sequel to this is unwinnable. Oh, there's, you need a certain speed of machine to do it, because clock speed does affect the jump height a little bit, or the jump duration. That one turns the guns off, I think. It does that in other games as well. It's not just this one, but there's that jump in the second one that you just can't make on this machine. And you must need a far bit of speed to do it, because you can't make that jump on Lisa either. So you probably need to start getting up to about 33 megahertz before you can actually make it. Oh man, it's a bit laggy. The video should be in sync for you, but I don't hear things in real time, and it's a little bit dodgy. Like, I've managed to get the latency down, but... And I found out what it does with the eggs displaying letters. Like, you get more points for doing it. So it's not a bug. It is an intended behaviour. I don't think this uses Keen's engine. I think this is an update to Duke Nukem 1's engine, it feels like. I don't know this for a fact, but that's what it seems to be. Yeah, it turns that lever blue. This is a joystick thing. This is what happens if you use controllers. The game doesn't like it. Ah! Oh, there goes my health bonus. Thanks, you stupid green slime prick. Oh, fuck off. That wasn't far. See, there it says an it spells out bonus, so you get more points if you get all the eggs. But not all the levels have all the eggs. And now it turns into a chain, and it wastes ammunition, because joystick support's real good. I'm not sure if it uses the graphics routines from Keen either, like, you know, whether they just used them or whether they wrote their own. Like, it's 1991, they definitely licensed id's engine for Biomenace, so I don't see why they wouldn't have just done that here if that's what they were going to do. It makes me think that some reverse engineering has probably gone on. Yeah, I think there's 16 levels in this game from what I remember. Probably 16 each in the sequels. Like the other episodes that I'm not going to bother beating because they've insulted me. I don't actually mind this game, but I'm insulted by the other episode. Like, you know, just, oh no, fuck you, you know. Your PC's too slow, the jump is now unjumpable. The last crystal is collected. Thing is, there's definitely been attention to detail put into this game, you know, the animations are smooth, the sound effects are pretty decent. It's just as you say, it suffers from Frank Madden syndrome. I think that's enough with the joystick, you know, we've seen the levers turning to change thing happen. If it gets painfully slow, we can press the 8 MHz button. Oh, can install XTIDE and watch it somehow tap the clock from the middle of the flip-flop that it uses for the FPU's like clock source. Maybe some weird form of copy protection going on. Yeah, I really wish the capture was better, because this actually looks like pretty fucking convincing, like on the screen. I think there's like a hidden block here. Like, I wondered if there was one. That jump that can't be made in the second game, like, I wondered if there was one for that, but... Nah, I've looked it up and you can just make that jump, like, apparently. But I can't. Can just about make this one, but it's a bit of a stretch. That's like how in build games you get that, like, don't mess with my name thing, if you, like, try to modify like Ken Silverman's name in the code. So I remember it came on once when I was like playing Duke 3D. Like, I'm sure it was on a stream where the game like went wonky. I think I had like bad RAM in a machine or something. I feel like it was when the K5 was fast built and I was just running it with like, you know, no SCSI termination, some really dodgy fucking RAM and all sorts of crap. There was one of them machines where it was just like, from the get-go, it wanted to work. Like, you get them sometimes where, oh no, I've blown it. That's it, we're not going to get up there in time with the fucking power. That might signal the death of us. I say, it's one thing that is fair in this game, there is no life system. Well, unless you read the instructions, in which case it considers the hearts to be a life system. And it considers life system to be a free guy. There is, like, crystals hidden in there. Like, I think I'll point stuff like this out in case, like, anyone watching this wants to play it someday and wants to get like maximum points, but I'm not going to try too hard to get things like that. I'd still kill him, but I don't know if the dinosaurs die. We got us a baby dinosaur. You can see where he's unloaded on the edge of the screen. Yeah, he just stops there, and his collision goes off. At least it's slow moving. Ah, shit. Well, I might as well just go through on the invincibility frames. Yeah, there's some angry little canaries. Sound effects in this game always make me think of canaries. I think heavens there was a gun down there, because I was starting to wonder what I was going to do. Moral of the story, don't mess with dinosaurs. That noise when you open the chest, that's canaries, definitely. Yeah, small wonder this isn't talked about as much as like Duke Nukem 1, which I am shocked to like have noticed the stream I did of that is over a year ago now. Maybe we'll play it again at the start of next year, because I like that game. Needing terminators, you might not, because some drives have them built in. It depends on what version of SCSI you have. It's supposedly automatic on some of them. A lot of the SCA drives can do it automatically, I think, but I don't think it's very reliable either, so... I'll catch up with that when I'm not, like, in the falling rocks area. There's like a gravity reversal thing in this room. I don't want to get that until I absolutely need it. Well, look who it is. It's these slimy little... Oh, son of a bitch. Yeah, it does start taking its toll on the power supply a bit when you start putting a lot of SCSI drives in. There are some that don't use a lot of power, but those tend to be like pretty slow. And then you have ones like that Necropolis drive that's in the DX50. Now that's only at one end. It has to be terminated like on the controller and at the end of the cable. But if you have a drive that like has termination on itself, then you know you can just use that, and that'll act as the terminator at the end of the cable. I think one of my machines does it that way, but I don't remember which one. The P66 does it on the narrow SCSI. It uses the CD drive as the terminator, but the hard drive isn't on that same part of the SCSI interface. So yeah, even the cards usually have one for their end of it, although some of them are automatic. The 2940 Uwu cards have automatic, like, termination on the card, just so they can turn it on and off, depending on if you plug something into the back. But, I'm not sure how well it works, so nothing's corrupted on me yet, so it probably works okay. I'm always a bit weary of adapting them down to like 50 pin. Always seems a bit dodgy because a lot of the things to adapt it don't terminate like the other half of the bus. They just leave it like just ends, which isn't good. You're supposed to terminate like the rest of it, like the other 8 bits that aren't being used. This has floor dildos in here, I think. It does. I'm gonna watch out for those. Yeah, there's one. I mean, it's got the gimmicks, this game, you know? It's got the reverse gravity and the low gravity and stuff. I really do need to look at turning that red down. I wonder if the Geffen can do it. I might have a look soon. I can't remember what the adjustments are like on that. It's been a long time since I've investigated. Stay out the investigations. It doesn't run too bad here, actually. Great, more floor dildos, that's just what I need. I'm amazed they didn't hide one behind one of the crystals. Crystal, come here, my girl! Not that I'm aware of, just that some drives don't like it and won't play ball, but I think that's quite rare, especially if there was a regular version of that drive. The one in the P66 is actually an SCA drive. There is like a regular, like 68-pin SCSI version of it, but it isn't what I ended up with. I think it was Brassic Gamer that sent me that. I can't remember. I know someone sent me it. Ah, I noticed how the egg was, well, the eggs are, like, still down. They're affected by normal gravity, kind of. Like, they're not affected by gravity, but their graphic has them on the floor and not the ceiling. But yeah, but my experience with them is quite limited, so... SCSI is often too expensive for me to want to go near it, and the parts aren't always very easy to find. These stupid dino eggs. Ah, it cut the sound effect off. Perfect health. Oh yeah, we're getting all the fucking points. I still don't know why the camera started working again. Like I say, I started OBS, it wasn't working. I walked away, came back, and it was working. I'm surprised it hasn't broken. But no, converting to SCA is generally reliable. I can't actually remember how I set that up on that card. I really don't. I might even have had to install Windows first. Because decent RAID controllers, at least, you can usually do it in the OS. No, I'm sure there was a thing in the BIOS, because I'm sure I had to name the volume in that interface. I think it actually just sent me there after it was done flashing. You know, it was kind of the deal of, oh, you've done that, now set the drives up, like, how do you want these to work, you know. But I've only, like, been in there once, so I don't remember very clearly. Oh dear. Ah, I think this level was evil, but I can't remember why. Flames coming out of pipes. Ow. Every 90s, like, PC fucking platformer looking game has that hazard. Because that's what the 90s looked like. I remember it was a real problem when I was a kid. You know, you'd walk down the street, and then you'd suddenly realise, like, there was just this pipe sticking out of the floor with, like, flames coming out of it. It was really, really dangerous. I'm glad they sorted that out. I mean, I don't really like the modern world very much, but we're certainly better off without those. Yeah, maybe it is done by floppy. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets flashed to the ROM or something. Because I think it's part of the same, like, file package, like... That's probably what's going on there. I think we can get in there. I don't think these do. We'll try him with 3 shots, but if that don't kill him... Yeah, let's go for 5, I'm feeling cocky. Nah, fucking he ain't died. That supposedly makes you, like, temporarily invincible, but it kind of doesn't. Apparently he dies anyway. Don't know if that was worth it. Yeah, it's not really implemented, the red mushroom. So yeah, it's It might well be that it sets up from the floppy and then just flashes the like EEPROM in one go. I've not used that model, so not quite sure. Can only guess. I don't get this. Like, mines don't look like this. It's not like Milo is digging this. To me, it just seems like he's coming on somebody else's property and stealing their stuff. I'm pretty certain there are laws against this kind of thing. Maybe there isn't in the Altar system, but these certainly aren't Milo's mines. And they most certainly aren't caves. Oh, wonderful. A poison death mushroom. That's just what we need. Yeah, you can't get me from here, Spitter. Well, that's turned off. No, it's not. Somehow it didn't hit me. And I didn't know until recently, because I just walked here and I was, oh, that's weird, the stop sign, but there's no, like, road. Yeah, if you jump up, there you go. So I always thought you just had to take damage and stuff in here. But no, because when they're stopped, they don't hurt you. Imagine if it stopped you collecting items as well. But it's this Frank Hugh Madden, bro. Like, you know, it's, I wouldn't put it past him to have at least considered something evil like that. This won't last you until you get to the bottom, but I mean, now you have these guys to take care of. They're a lot easier to kill. I always find it disorienting though how the rocket like doesn't travel very fast when you fast fire it. You can keep up with it, and it's always like, ooh, is it gonna reach? Is it gonna hit? A bit slow here. It doesn't like these platforms. Definitely curious to see how fucking bad this runs on the fucking XT. Because they say it'll run on one. Someone will get mad. Well, you're trying to play 90s games on a fucking XT, you know, it wasn't supposed to do that. It's like, yeah, I know, but the developers said, like... And so I figured I'd give them the benefit of the doubt, and we'd try it out, and it didn't work very well. Probably. Who knows, there's probably some game or other out there that does some dodgy fucking... stuff, like, you know, where it disables a bunch of things just to run on one, but I wouldn't count on it. I think Larry 1 says it'll run on an XT. I guess we'll try that. The worst raid I've ever had to deal with is still that stupid fucking Promise one. The SX6000, where you can only set things up in Windows, and it doesn't, like, clone the disks when you do that. Yeah, well, I've run Windows 3.0 on Lisa, and it's not really that quick. It does okay as a file manager. It's a bit draggy. I have Gem installed on that as well. That seems to run okay, but there's no video drivers. Because video card drivers almost invariably seem to want a 386. And in Windows you have a problem as well, because almost all of them want Windows 3.1 and don't have drivers for 3.0. So neither case is very well supported. I don't want to go that way. I can't run my way around this stage. It's not a very big stage. I think I've somehow played this level more than the others. Oh, I got fucking raped by the floor dildos. Hate them. Ah, go away, Floor Dildo. No one likes you. I can probably get this in one go, yeah. Easy. There we go. Why is there blood leaking out of the barrel up there? I'm not sure Milo wants to hang about you, because that's probably what they're going to do to you when they realise you've been fucking digging in their fucking mines and stealing from their industrial facilities. Yeah, it seems Windows 3 was just forgotten about very quickly. It was just proto Windows 3.1. It was like, well, the idea's there, but it's a pretty incapable operating system out of the box. By the time you've, like, installed all of the updates that also need a fucking 386 to do anything, you might as well have just bought fucking Windows 3.1 instead. And I suppose that you'd be like, well, do I even want to install Windows at this point? Or do I just want to buy like a fucking 386 and get rid of my clunky fucking whatever piece of shit? I mean, I think this was like end of the 80s, start of the 90s. I don't think you'd want to drag something at this speed. Like, people did. I even remember seeing, like, machines like this slow around when I was a kid. I mean, my uncle, he had a 286, like, sort of in the early mid-90s. I don't remember what speed it was, but, you know, it was all he could afford to build, so that's what he built. It is unusual for having a PC, like, you know, my family were more the sort, on one side they just didn't have computers, they've never really had much interest in them. And on the other side of the family it was all about, like, Ataris and, like, you know, fucking micros like that. And he's from that side of the family, so he's like the fucking, fuck you, I'm buying a fucking PC. So he just saved up for ages, just built himself. I feel like it was a 10 megahertz system. Oh, the fucking floor dildos. It doesn't matter, we'd already lost our health bonus. I think it was in this one, wasn't it? Yeah, I don't know what became of my uncle's 286. I think around 96 he replaced it with a Pentium. Oh, I nearly floor dildoed myself. He replaced it with a Pentium at some point. I don't know what he got after that, because I think he went back to prison, but he might not have bothered, like, for a while after he came out, because he was too busy trying to start a business venture. Yeah, I went from a Pentium to a Duron, so it's probably like a similar kind of leap, to be honest. I mean, you know, it's nearly a 10-fold clock increase, if nothing else. Ah, son of a bitch. I hate this lazy blue ball bastard. They clearly got this idea from Captain Comic. There are some similarities between this and Captain Comic, actually. Like, in the way they look, and they both have a Mario area in them. Ugh. Yeah, I'll come back for that. It's a bit touchy, this level, in places, from what I remember. Oh, you just know they were hoping you'd miss the lever and end up shooting the air generator. Oh yeah, there's a bastard in that wall. We're going to watch out for him. I mean, nowadays you just don't get, like, the sort of speed increases you used to see. I mean, you know, in the Compaq Armada, like, video, if you look at the difference in speed between the satellite and the Armada, like, really it's only one generation difference between those two machines. Like, cause the Pentium 2 was already a thing by the time the Pentium MMX came around, you know, it's not like it went from Pentium 1 to MMX to Pentium 2. I think they were sort of about the same time. Like, it's 1997, that wouldn't leave much time for the P2 to then come out, and then the Pentium 3 in, like, 98. So, you know, I think it was, like, kind of about the same time, so it really is only one generation's difference. And yet the performance increase is absolutely fucking massive. You just don't see that anymore. Like, the technology can't really be stretched that much now. I guess it gets harder and harder to shrink ICs down. Just having cash kind of helps. I mean, the satellite doesn't have any. I don't know if they support SMP, because I can't see why they wouldn't, but I also wouldn't put it past Intel to have disabled it. They'd be like, no, fuck you, buy a dual Pentium 2. I still think Intel were fiddling with those voltage regulators personally. You know, it's curious to me how the VRM-like header doesn't tend to appear on Intel chipset boards, but it does appear on CIS motherboards. And that suggests to me that there's something funny going on. It's Intel been like, no, we're going to make overdrives and we want to sell those. Or at the very least, we want to sell them like some new chipset down the line. Like, they'll have to buy new motherboards, and they'll probably buy one with an Intel chipset. So if we deliberately get rid of, like, the ability to upgrade to Socket 7 CPUs, then they'll have to buy something from us. It's a very scumbaggy thing to do, but it's Intel. I would not put anything past Intel. And those angry little canaries. Don't get sucked in, Milo. No, he's going to stick his dick in it. He's thinking about it. That's why he's grinning to himself as he walks. He's like, oh yeah, when no one's looking, we'll see what it feels like. You don't want to try it, Milo. I don't think it's going to end well. It'll rip it off. Can we beat the platform over? Probably not. We'll have a go. Oh, we did. Yeah, a lot of boards, they have the vias and stuff, but finding one where it is populated is quite unusual. HX boards do seem to have it, like, quite often. But I guess at that point you were paying like a massive premium to get a chipset that wasn't any fucking faster anyway. So, you know, they had to give you something. I don't know. I can't fault Intel Socket 7 chips. I really can't. Like, from the 430 FX on the FX, like, has a couple of little quirks that you don't tend to run into them too often. they made good chipsets like for socket 5 and 7. They do work. Their earlier stuff though is absolute fucking garbage. I can never stress it enough. Just how bad, like was it the LX? Or the MX or something? Like the Mercury and stuff, that was fucking shite. And the old 420ZX and 420EX and everything. Absolutely fucking shite. Those were for the 486. Those things are so unbelievably fucking slow. And have such laughably terrible CPU support. You can really see why almost no motherboards use them. Because the fucking UMC 498 and the 888 and the SIS 491 or whatever it was. We'll just say the 490, I guess, because it's a two-part chip. They just absolutely obliterate it. It's not even fucking funny. Opti chipsets are a little bit dodgy, I find. It may be, but they're not very good. I'm not impressed by them. I've worked with a couple of them and they're just awful. There was actually an Intel Alfredo motherboard on eBay the other day. I don't know if it's sold, I didn't want it. But there actually was one. It's probably the first PCI motherboard there ever was, as far as I can tell. It's made by Intel, it came out in 1992, so it kind of suggests it probably is. Because I don't know who else would have one, like, at that point. So it's Intel's interface. Oh no, where's the fucking lever? Sake, it's not here, is it? Oh no. Oh yes, the lever. Oh yes, the lever. It came from the boring. It came from the boringest kingdom. Colours of day dawn into the night. The water swells round, the bog's full of shite. Goes down in the city into the street, so let's give some bog rule to the people we meet. Light up the fire, let the flame burn. Open the door and let out the tards. Yeah, thick-made boards that do that, and it's really bad. And then Asus do it backwards, and they put VLB on a PCI board that's already using a fucking Intel 420 chipset, so it's already slower than fucking hell and not entirely reliable. But I mean, you know, that's Asus logic. And physically, the slot position, it shows, you know, the one VLB slot shows that it's like slot-like position with PCI 4. And naturally, as it's hanging off of the PCI bus, it has to disable one PCI slot to be able to do it. So you think logically, you would disable PCI 4 because that's the one that it uses the spacer for. It doesn't, it disables PCI 2. So now you lose PCI 4 because there's a card in the way, and you lose PCI 2 because the card that's in the way of PCI 4 is like connected to that logically. But usually you don't get that far because the interrupts are all done with jumpers and don't work properly, and DMA is broken and mastering doesn't work. So, you know, It's really good. This is why I'm really not exaggerating when I say the UMC 888 has a good PCI implementation. Like, comparatively... Deary me. Comparatively, the 888 has an amazing PCI implementation. It works. This is a low gravity level. It's quite hard to make the jumps on this. These ones aren't too bad, but farther over there, we're going to be in trouble. Kill the bats. Yeah, this jump's a bastard to make. There we go. And obviously, I think we're all aware of there been motherboards later on that used PCI to ISA bridges. You know, I feel like that is a known thing. It doesn't skimp you on ammo this level, I don't think. Slightly slower ways. I think, yeah, we have the key now. Obviously, the PCI to ISA bridge boards are like Pentium 4 era stuff. I think there is some Pentium 3 boards that did it, but I don't remember what chipset those were on. Sort of thing I could see being on a shitty fucking Neverworks board, to be honest. Where they'd put it there for compatibility or something and just end up breaking their fucking motherboard even worse. Oh, get fucked, game. Didn't touch it. It even self-expired when I went to blow up that block because it knew it had done wrong. Yeah, fixed boards, they don't seem to be very good on average. Some of them work, but most of them just seem to be a bit dodgy. There's always something a bit wrong with them. The one in the Leo likes to, like, dump corrupted data on the hard drive occasionally. It never seems to massively break anything, but it definitely does something dodgy with it. I don't remember if there's ground down there. I think there is, but just to be safe. I know there is ground down there, because I don't think there's bottomless pits, but I meant, you know, if we get the crystal there. Should probably better save. This is the 286. You know, it does like to do dodgy things sometimes. I wouldn't put it past it to be, oh no, we're gonna crash now just to mess with you. Must have done a far few of the levels. Yeah, the worst 486 board I've ever been around though is... I'm actually not sure. Because there was that Micronics one that was pretty bad. But then the Asus one kind of takes the cake. That has really stupid fucking designs. Both of them have Intel chipsets on. Oh, great. Well, at least they drop eggs and not fucking shit. Oh, these eggs give me points. Why don't those ones? That's not far. Turn some guns off. Of course, we have to have trash can robots. Because every game had them at one time. Yes, make the blood and bones fly. Maybe that's what was in the barrels. Maybe Milo was here already and he's been like just killing stuff off and putting it in barrels. There was a guy a couple of streets away from a street I lived on who used to do it with rabbits and stuff. He used to catch them and drown them in barrels of water and stuff. What a lovely individual. Also, he had no floorboards. Yeah, it's, I suppose it's just like blatantly a robot when it's that kind of shape or something. I mean, Impossible Mission has like trash can robots. They're quite similar to the ones in this game in like Fraz attack, you know. They attack by like squiggly lines coming out of them and making a frazzy noise. No, I already went that way. Go this way, but there's like a dude down there, so we've got to be careful. Also a trash can robot. Also, you can't turn this on or off, whatever it is. I'll use up a shot to show you, so you can't do it. Stupid robots. Still a dead robot now, so we don't have to worry about him. He's gone. He's not coming back. Nothing down here yet. Oh, can we get that to lock up? Probably. Yeah, if you time it just right, they just... If you're above the water drip things, they stop on whatever frame they're on. I don't remember if it does. It's a long time since I played it. Oh yeah, it's Kilroy. Kilroy! 'Cause his name is Kilroy. Kilroy. He's gonna kill the Roys. His name is Kilroy. It's not that Kilroy. It's the little dude you used to draw looking over the bottom of the blackboard and stuff. But yeah, I had the Atari version of Impossible Mission, and I'd like it again, but I'm probably not going to bother getting it just because it's broken. It can't be beaten, that version, apparently, so I'll probably get the Master System one at some point. It's so obvious it's a game that started on, like, home microcomputers, though. Just by the way it works and the look and feel of it and everything. Let's go and get the chest. We might as well see what sort of score we can get. Sector Alpha. Well, that's fine. Oh, this takes place where, like, F-Zero X, like, levels do. This is alright. This makes sense now. So we now know that Sector Alpha in that game is in the Altar system. As long as it's not in the fucking Lilac system. The toilet system. But that Kilroy with the music, that was like a 90s fucking talk show. It used to be on in the morning. It was fucking garbage. But it did have really overblown fucking theme music. Like, it's this boring talk show with what to me at the time was like this old geezer. It wasn't really that old. And it has all these fucking electric guitars and shit in its fucking intro. It's like, is that really necessary? It used to... I don't know where he found the idiots who used to get on it. I always remember this woman, like, coming on, she's like, I'm not going to tell you how old I am, but I was born in 1948, and let me tell you, when I was that age, the bus used to cut... You stupid bitch, now we know how old you are. You might as well just told us. Not telling you how old I am, but I was born in 1948. Stupid shit. And then the guy got disappeared because they found out he was a right-winger, and you can't have right-wing people, like, on the BBC. And so they had to get rid of him, obviously. Man, it definitely doesn't run too lively on here, does it? I really don't see this game running good on that Turbo XT. I guess we'll also be able to test, like, the, how compatible, like, fucking peripheral cards really are. You know, a lot of them are alleged to work. You can't beat this level with a joystick, by the way. The inputs stop working on it in this level. Yeah, probably. Is it actually broke, or is that like a clock-sensitive thing as well, do you think? Oh, I think there's a locked door up here. Let's just go for it. If there's a locked door, we'll just come back. But yeah, I mean, it's... I think that one was actually, like, broke, from what I remember. On this, it's clock-sensitive. And in Keen, you can jump farther when the like, clock speed is low, so... You know, go figure. Oh no, they can shoot at me. Yeah. Yeah, I remember it now. I've never played that game, but I'm aware of it. Well, that's NES shit for you. Like, quality control never seems to be, like, top priority on the fucking NES. Seems to just be how many fucking games can we make. Ah, it's not too bad. I can handle these kinds of speeds. It's better than it running too fucking fast. What's it? It's blending into the background. I don't know why this level makes me think of fucking Tomb Raider. If Tomb Raider had been 2D, it'd probably look like this. Let's kill some of these. Ugh. We don't need that power-up to do it, but it doesn't use our ammo while we have that, so I figured you might as well take advantage of it. Hang on, if I have my rockets slightly offset, it'll kill them if they're below the line. That's interesting to know. I think that was a net gain, though. That was worth it. Spiders, wonderful. There we go. I don't think I enjoyed it. That game, I don't find fun. And dreaming about it certainly isn't fun. If I ever fucking have to play that game again, it will be too fucking soon. I'll still fucking play Angel of Darkness someday. I'm not going to say I'll complete it because it's a very long game. It's a very long game that is not easy to actually complete, so I'll play it anyway one day. I'd still like to have a go at Legend, like someday, even though I don't fucking like that either. I do have good memories with that game at least. I just don't like the game. Shite. That'll probably be on PS2. Angel of Darkness, though, I'll just throw that at the Athlon or something, I don't know. Yeah, is it a DirectX 9 game, though? It's probably DirectX 9, isn't it? I'm going to do that on something else. Yeah, quite a lot of Angel of Darkness's difficulty is just how rough the game is, yeah. And their fucking death scenes are a bit shit, because it doesn't have unique animations, it just makes a puking sound and gets ragdolled. Although, it's a shame, because it does have, like, one of the most evil deaths, like, in, like, any of the games I've ever played in it, where you can get boiled to death. I can't really think of too many games where that's a thing. You know, there's this pool of boiling water that winners don't use drugs. Well, define drugs. I mean, that's quite a broad term. I mean, like, it depends on how you're using the drugs, not, like, the drug itself, surely. That one from, like, the 2010s, I have. It doesn't really look like a Tomb Raider game anymore. It's like, so like two minds about it. Or I'm like, well, I don't like Tomb Raider, but I don't think I ever play it, but I don't think I have anything that can play it. It does have some brutal deaths in it though, so I mean that's alright, but she doesn't really look like Lara anymore, so it doesn't have the same effect. I just don't get that. So, like, everyone's supposed to love Lara Croft. Like, everyone sure does seem to have an obsession with killing her. Like, everybody seems to have spent time breaking her neck with, like, the dive button and stuff. So it's like, well, maybe people don't really like her that much. Maybe they only like her because they like watching her get killed. Which I personally still think was Sava right, because she seems to be into animal cruelty. I still think, like, that's what the whole thing's about. She's just made up the story just to justify what she's doing. You know, it's like, Lara, you are awfully cruel to those bars. Yes, but there was a treasure there, and I needed to recover it, and the bar was... No, Lara, you just went there to kill those bars, like, slowly and painfully. No, seriously, there was this treasure. I was going adventuring, and there was a treasure from the ancient people of, the thing, you know, yes. But after you had killed the bar, you stared at its corpse and started jamming your fingers into your snatch and moaning things about killing bars. So, I'm not sure I believe this story. Oh no, that was, you see that there were protections around the treasure, and that was to, disable the mechanism. Yes, it was, absolutely necessary. Oh, I hate these things. They don't die easy. Also, they shoot you. I can't jump. Oh, the frames. I don't know where they've gone, but they're not coming to the screen. Coming to a screen near you. Presumably, because they aren't coming to a screen near me. Jeez. The computer doesn't like that area, apparently. It's not making it think of Lara Croft. It's like, well, I can't play this game, like, you know, can't play that Tomb Raider game, but the idea of it is, making me not want to play anything anymore. I'll catch up with what's going on there in a minute. Looking for treasure chests. And these goddamn man carts. Use the cross button to lock the man cart. Congratulations, Mr. Potter, you have succeeded. Here, have a famous witches and wizard card for your trouble. I don't know why a bank would have these cards, but we do seem to have, like, a couple of them. Your explanation's as good as mine, Mr. Potter. Someone probably lost it. But finders keepers, it's yours now, you can have it. Come to think of it, why would a bank have you collect things this way? If all the coins are out in these caves what the man cart runs through, how do we know which ones belong to somebody and how much somebody has? I mean, say if you actually was overdrawn, we wouldn't know. It's a bit rubbish here, really, isn't it? Oh, no, the air generator's up there. Yeah, it does seem like it'd be a bit heavy for the PS Triple. That Boomer Raider game. Well, I guess that's just channeling the spirit of the original, because I don't think that ran all too well for me, did it? Like, I had to move up to the K62 in the end, didn't I? And that ran it alright, but I mean, that was like a 500 megahertz CPU. It's like, what, it had better run it alright. Otherwise, something is seriously fucking wrong. Dude. I'm actually way ahead of schedule. I thought it'd take about 2 hours to beat this. I'm still not sure, like, as much as I am going to play, like, the PC version of those crappy fucking Potter games. I'm still not sure if I want to read the books again. Because I really enjoyed those at the time, and I just worry that if I read them again, I won't enjoy them as much, and then it'll kind of spoil my memories of them a bit. But I'm not sure it would. I think I could probably separate it in my brain. Like, I probably could separate the two, like, readings of it. I don't know for sure, though. Oh no, not this shit. See, it cons you this level, because you need to get rid of that. You need to get rid of... we should go for the dinosaur, because we know at least we can kill the other dude, but... But then do we have to kill the dinosaur? Don't know. Yeah, we ain't getting back over there in time. We'll come back for those when we've got the key. Weeb-a-dee-dee-deep. Call me a weeb. But then if I'm gonna play the Potter games, like... I don't know what's going on there. I've got to be very careful here, because I have to... knock those out. Like... Because if you don't, it's not a soft lock. You can't actually soft lock in this game per se, not fully, because there is a quit to map screen thing, but obviously the load time isn't brilliant, so that's not something I really want to make a habit of doing. There's nothing over here. But yeah, maybe I should try and dig out the books if I'm going to be playing those games. Because it probably allowed me to make more criticism. I mean, I've not said too much on this stream because I'm out of the habit of doing this. You know, I've been fucking ill for the last fuck knows how long. I haven't really been able to do much of anything. Now, I know this stream isn't exactly brilliant, but I just had to do something fun, you know? It's like, I've been away from this stuff for so long, I just have to do it. I probably will be going back to the doctors at some point, but not for anything major, it's just the nausea isn't going away. But I kind of think I might actually have an ear infection, because when I like stuck my finger on my ear to itch it before, it felt wet. And that to me is like, yeah, that might actually be the problem. That would explain why it went away for a while and then came back. It's probably, well, my ear tubes got damaged by the acid. The acid's gone, they've probably... Yeah, Pinoy internet really doesn't seem to be very good. Like, it seems a bit rubbish to me. And I know what that's like, because ours was fucking shit for yours. I have to give it to Carecom, their fibre has been reliable. It's been reliable and it's been quick. I'm going to be sad when it gets slower, like, I think it's the start of next year. Well, they're taking my basically uncapped line away and they're putting it down to like about a third of the speed it currently runs at and about 1/10 of the upload speed and then charging me £10 more for it. That's really good, but that's to be competitive with BT because BT do shit like that anyway, so Carecom's like, well, we don't actually have to compete with BT, so we might as well just do it ourselves and make some more money. Carecom engineers usually were at least halfway competent. They were usually alright. The problem is to get to an engineer you had to go through, you know, some dish rag whore single mother who you could tell was too busy playing with her fucking phone while you were talking to her, like, to really listen to what you were saying and didn't understand what you were saying and didn't know how to write down what you were saying. So actually getting an engineer, like, to deal with something wasn't easy. And fuck if they went and messed with your, like, line settings, it would just completely break it. I mean, that's the thing, they actually have something that a lot of, like, you know, telecom services don't here. Whereby they do employ local people to do that. The problem is people from Hull are fucking idiots, like, a lot of the time. So you have a bunch of Hull people answering phones. It's great that you don't have to try and figure out what the fuck they're saying in Punjab or whatever, but you have to figure out what they're trying to say in Hull instead, because I don't really speak Hull, and Hull people don't tend to speak regular English. So it still ends up being a fucking language barrier anyway. For some reason I thought I was landing on the green mushroom. Goes without saying those will kill you. This fucking Mario World bullshit. It's Mario Brothers 2. This is the story of the Peter Bear who went to the park because there were children in there. I can't remember the rest of the words. Probably nothing good though. It involves the pedo bar. I don't like that bar. Every time I see that bar, I just get this irrational urge to start practicing my stabbing. You know, I become that stabby robot from Futurama. Right, how do I get up there again? The layout's a bit nonsense in this level, I can't remember it. What is kind of strange here, I suppose, is that this game has smooth scrolling and Duke Nukem 2 doesn't. Maybe they had to sacrifice that to get the VGA support working out, no? You in there, Mario? No? Well, fuck you, I'm going to throw all my garbage down that pipe now. It'll show up in the Mushroom Kingdom and you'll have to deal with it. Uh-oh. See, I was going by the audio then and not looking and thought I'd screwed up, but audio lag actually saved me. Shall we try getting the chests? We've done it up to this point. I guess we shouldn't break the habit now. It slows down when there's objects on the screen though, just a tad. I don't think there's that many of them in this stage, is there? As far as I know, there's no provision in this game for getting the hearts back. Like, nothing does that, as far as I'm aware. If there is something that does it, I don't know what it is. Two levels remain. I really did think this would take longer. I'm surprised. Well, I think tomorrow I'm going to try eating something else, as the bread does not make me feel ill anymore. I don't think we want to go over to the right there. I think we actually want to go left. Oh, that was evil, game. You know it was. Fuck. No, I think you want to go right and turn that off and then come back. Yeah, sure, rub it in. Keep shooting me, you fucking dickhead. Fuck you. Stupid fucking wall gun. Toothpaste guns. I always thought that the fast weapon in terminal velocity, I always thought looked like toothpaste. Ooh, how did that not damage us? I think it's because there was an advert for one of the toothpaste brands where it used like CGI and it actually kind of looked like the fast weapon in terminal velocity. Like when the toothpaste was attacking the plaque. Yeah, well, that game's shoddy, so, you know, no surprises really. I never saw what the big deal was with James Bond, but I still find that game to be strange, how you're controlling a gun that seems to have taken James Bond hostage and is now dragging him around. Against his will. Against his willy. Oh, there's a thing here, yeah. If you go in that chamber to the left, you can't ever get these. Well, you can, but I don't think there's any way out, because you can't make it over that wall. Again, like, it's not a full-on soft lock just because you have the exit to hub weld thing, but it might as well be one, like, you know. Because Frank Hugh Edinburgh knows all about furnace in game design. Don't want to go up there because I can't get back down. It really is one shot this level, isn't it? James Bond. Somebody make me a bacon sandwich. I've got a hangover. I don't think the... oh, a tile letters failed to update fully. Much as I do have, like, spare ones of those DRAM chips, it better not be going bad on my EGA card. Those things are not easy to find. Oh, get fucked, game. That wasn't far. They're not easy to find. They tend to cost quite a lot of money a lot of the time as well. Like, I managed to find someone selling them in bulk. Usually they're like £5 each. And then, oh, get fucked, game. I don't really want to spend £5 each on fucking DRAM chips. That was one of the big reasons for buying the complete system as a fucking Turbo XT instead of buying a motherboard, because the motherboards never came with, like, all 640k of RAM. And I know what, like, how many chips? Like 18 the fuckers or something? To upgrade it, it's like, fuck off, like, you know, it's like fucking £100 in, like, DRAM gnarly. I'm not spending £100 in DRAM, like, I already got to spend, like, upwards of 80 on the motherboard. Yeah, no, we'll turn that gun back on and we'll fuck over whoever comes in here next and serve them right. Thinking they can steal, well, none of it's Milo's anyway, but that'll teach them. I don't remember killing that robot, but I'm not going to complain that it's gone. I'm sure those spikes should fall. Oh, they do now. Must have been too far away. I think RAM used to cost more than that when those were new. It used to be extremely expensive. I think it was the bulk of the cost of a motherboard back in the 80s. In some cases may have cost more than the CPU. Last level. Yeah, very expensive stuff once upon a time, DRAM. I suppose that's why it always stayed socketed. You know, I don't think that was them being nice, like, hey, look, you could upgrade it. I think it was more just like, if we don't let people repair that, like, they're going to be pretty angry. Because, I mean, they even sold the processors to some motherboards, so you'd think they'd have sold the DRAM if they thought they could get away with it. It's a bit disorientating, the backdrop of this level. Yeah, like Duke Nukem 1, there are no bottomless pits in this game, so if you stand in those, you just take damage. I guess that's why there's spikes in them. It's another reason I can't help but think it's probably just an upgraded version of Duke 1's engine. Like, they've just tweaked it to do the scrolly stuff. Probably not a hell of a lot else. Stupid dinosaur. It's supposed to be extinct. It does stink. I can smell it from here. Gross, kill it! 'Cause we're gonna kill the dinosaurs. 'Cause we're gonna kill all of the dinosaurs. Oh, hello, Queen Earthwalker. I'll totally help you out. Yeah, don't worry about it. Weren't you just singing about killing all the dinosaurs? No, that's just the song that But I know. It's not about killing dinosaurs or anything. Oh, come on, open your eyes. Stop being a coward. Cowardly bastard thing. I hate it. Look at it. Look at me. There you go. You die now. Fuck you, you piece of shit. I don't like this level very much. Big level, so it probably is a good one to end the game on. But it's a shit level. Because we're gonna kill the dinosaurs. Because we're gonna kill all of the dinosaurs. You know they call them dinosaurs is because they ran on the diner and, like, people saw it. And they created, like, they outputted no horsepower because they're not horses and they're actually dinosaurs. And that's how that works. I'm confident in this assessment. I think it's correct. Of course, we can't verify this because there aren't actually any dinosaurs around now. And I don't think they'll ever be allowed to genetically create them in a lab. Well, until you have some country that just goes totally renegade. Because countries that just go totally renegade usually don't tend to be that technologically advanced, but it's only a matter of time before one of them does. And then you'll see some really interesting things happening. Probably not very pleasant things, but interesting things. Like dinosaurs. And all the bloody scalies will be overjoyed. Zoop, zoop. We should at least try to get all the chests. Zoidberg? Fuck you, robot. This is my platform now. You don't get to run on it anymore. See ya. Where's all the other ones? I want them. I want all of them. They will be mine. It will be mine. Nah, I don't think so. I think it's reasons like that that stop most sane countries from, like, wanting dinosaurs, but I could totally see China doing it. Like, if China figured out how to make dinosaurs, I think they would do it. They would just make them and use it as a tourist attraction, like, you know. The end of the third Jurassic Park always annoyed me, how they see that flying thing out the window of the plane, they just leave it. It's like, shouldn't you be killing it? I mean, it's going to fly away from the island and, like, nest somewhere, and you'll end up overrun by the stupid fucking things. Crash the plane in it or something. Kill it. Kill all of them. Collect what you consider to be a fortune in precious crystals, enough to buy you everything necessary to start a Twibble farm. Your next stop is the local galactic trading post. Yeah, the number of crystals flickers even on a faster machine, so that's actually not like this thing specifically. It certainly was, because usually it's just the number, but I don't know. There is one tall building. Press any key? Question mark. What if I press the question mark? Poor Milo. It seems Twibbles breed at a faster rate than he expected. They've overrun the entire planet. Due to their high metabolism, Twibbles eat 10 times their weight each day. They've devoured the world's entire food supply. Oh, great. Milo has brought about a fucking apocalypse. Well, he hasn't, but is at least probably made it cost 1 million Deutschmarks for a loaf of bread because of his money-messing ways in foreign territories. You know, this is giving me flashbacks to something, but I just can't think what. What's worse, the Twibble fad is dead, and Milo's stuck with a planet full of them. Well, exterminators are going to be making a lot of money now. And this is why you shouldn't genetically engineer things in a lab that, you know, have never lived on a planet before. On someone else's planet, it's alright to put them there, because we don't live there. Fuck those people. Yeah, he doesn't look happy. There's no bulb in his, like, lamp thing. Hey, Twibbles must have eaten it. They don't seem to eat that much of the grass. Congratulations, but I wonder if you can eat Twibbles. I mean, if there's no food left, maybe you can, like, figure out how to cook them safely and sell that to people. If they're fluffy like they are, they're furry, make rugs out of them, make slippers out of them, sell those. But your quest for riches is not yet complete. You'll need to fly the Kiwi back to the perilous Altar system and locate entirely new crystal caves that belong to other people to steal from. Will Milo survive his next trip in the rattletrap he calls the Millennium Kiwi? Will he survive the diabolical new traps and puzzles that await him? Well, no, because you can't make the jump in the first level because my PC's not fast enough, apparently. Can he succeed at his new hard-brained get-rich scheme? And how will all of this eventually lead to galaxies? Shouldn't there be a "the" between 2 and galaxy? Largest burger franchise. Ah, so he is going to cook the Twibbles. That's good. You make burgers out of them. Order today and find out. Oh, why is there a high-pitched ringing sound here? It's definitely coming out of there, right? Yeah. Well, that's dodgy. I'm the best. I'm definitely the best. I think there's no one else plays on this machine. Can I make that go? Yeah, I can. Let's have a quick look to see if we can get rid of this red and then I'll mess with something else for like a half hour or so. Oh, I can turn the red down so I can compensate on here. Problem is, that makes it look quite dark, doesn't it? Oh, I was wondering if you want me better turning the other ones up. Because the red is really overpowered. Let's try pulling it on that monitor, because red is quite strong on the Trinitron. No, don't auto-adjust. That makes it a bit less shit, but now I'm going to have to remember to put that back. But yeah, it's definitely the China thing. Just it puts a red out for some reason. It doesn't zero that properly. I'm pretty certain the Geffen uses the same circuitry as a TV. It definitely has that vibe. Let's play with Stunt Car Racer or something. Recorded a Let's Play of Stunt Car Racer that I probably will upload at some point. I might want to turn the output down because it's quite harsh. The noise that comes out of this game hurts my ears. Jim Cummings, Mictor style. Was his name? It was something Cummings I saw. See, now this is a game that says it'll run on an XT, and I actually really want to test that out. Stunt Tracks, the one that I'm trying to find, or the one that everyone else talks about? Because I'd really like to find that game that I had, and I still can't find it. I think my best bet would be to try and find the Shovelware CD it was on again. I need to clean that potentiometer out. Oh, come on. Tell me if it's too loud for you and I can adjust it. Well, we'll turn it down a bit anyway. There you go. Because it's quite grating, that noise, isn't it? I don't know what that asks to run on, that game. I'm not sure. I think that's enough to get us over here. It's not a very big jump. I won't explain the game mechanics too much. A lot of these car games have slightly dodgy controls. This one actually has kind of weird controls in it. It also has a Lisa and Bart meter in it there, in the lower left. There's like one Lisa raccoon and like 20 Bart raccoons.
Bert Raccoon. I'll be Bert Raccoon, photographer extraordinaire. They'll put my pictures in magazines. Lisa, wait!
No, it's boost and lap counter there. But yeah, this game is really quite smooth on here, so I do think a Turbo XT might just be able to do it. Yeah, you're not going to drive very fast in these early levels. I won't play this for long. You don't have to steer when you're on a straight bit of road, like the car will just drive straight on a straight road. Like if I let go of the steering, like the car just solves itself here. So there's a thing to be aware of if you... Yeah, I just haven't drawn anything in a long time now. I'll get to drawing something eventually, I'm sure. I don't know what though. I still can't get the hang of drawing Crystal. Like, Crystal's quite hard to draw. I do find it somewhat amusing how every time I draw she starts to look more and more like an 80s cartoon character, so eventually I'll get there. Oh man, this is definitely 80s trash, this game. try and get down to Division 1. No, I haven't. I doubt it runs that well. I've seen the Spectrum version of it, that's a slideshow. I've seen the Amiga version of it, and it's all grey with gradients all over it. Looks shit. It's like you have all those colours, and you chose to make the whole game fucking grey. Can't remember how to race this level. I think about 180 is the magic speed. Right, so that isn't a jump. I think this next one is. Oh, you can just hammer it over there then, I think. But I'm not sure if you can roll off the corner. But yeah, the BART meter is obviously boost, so you don't want to just lean on the accelerator. As you do that, you run out of boost, and then you stop being able to make jumps. Yeah, Commodore 64 I've not played many games on, just because a lot of the time I could only find the games on floppy disk. Couldn't find images of the tape versions of them, and the floppy disk drives for Commodore 64s tend to cost more than Commodore 64s. You can get the car upside down, but it's very difficult to do. Oh, we might get structure damage. Nah. But no, you can get the car upside down. I have done it. But it does go back on its wheels when you hit the dart, like under the track. It just kind of snaps back on. Tis a strange game. The physics are very airy and stuff, but I can't really fault it for when it was made and for what it runs on. At least, I think you'd get away with a 4 MHz 286, if nothing else. Maybe you wouldn't do so good on a regular XT. We will have to test that, of course. I can't actually figure out, looking at the photos, where the clock circuitry is on that XT. So it's going to be quite interesting to figure that out. Like how they've implemented it. Because clock chips weren't very common back then. Ooh. It's always longer than I remember this track.
Burnt raccoon.
Yeah, I think we have like 2 more races and we'll be out of this division, and then I'll fuck off because I've got to go and have my supper anyway. But it's been nice to stream again, even if it wasn't the best fucking stream, you know. I got to come back to it somewhere, like. So you might as well start pretty low with like Crystal Caves. If I'd known the camera was going to work, maybe I'd have bothered setting the Athlon up and getting that Potter game onto it, but I guess maybe I'll do that in my spare time. We'll do it like next time. You watch the Athlon break down or something now. That's on a Chain-Tech motherboard. That fucking thing ain't going to break down in a hurry. Yeah, so I'm told. That's probably why they like cost about as much as the actual system, if not more. They were, maybe they're not now, but probably are. I mean, back when I was into the Commodore 64, it was a ridiculously expensive machine to do anything like even remotely interesting with. You know, fans of it are always right. It was a computer for the people. It's like, yeah, not anymore. It ain't. You put a stop to that, didn't you? Bloody dickwads. The people who jack the price is not Commodore 64 fans in general. I don't have a problem with them. I'm not going to tell them not to play with their Commodore 64 if that's what they want to do. It's not doing me any fucking harm. They're welcome to it. I don't want it, so that's on them. Faster! Really don't need to be going faster on here. It's not like a great decision, but I'm not playing serious, so there's no reason not to, I guess. I mean, nowadays, you know, having a peripheral that has more power than the host system is fucking normal. I mean, it's like we were discussing before, your mouse converter, that should have like a fucking quad-core fucking ARM CPU running that at like 10 gigahertz. Because you're converting mouse signals, you need that kind of power. My keyboard converter, that should have a fucking, you know, keyboard's more complicated than mice, so that needs at least like a fucking 12 core, like fucking, you know, server grade CPU to do that. It is technically using a CPU. It isn't as simplistic as the bastardizer. I did look at whether it could be done that way, but it actually requires a lot of logic. And so it seemed using a PIC was probably the best thing. You can do it with just one IC. You know, it's much more simplistic. It does have a RISC CPU inside it. Like, it's not a very powerful CPU. I think it uses the order of bloody nanowatts to run the fucking thing. But it does have a RISC CPU inside the PIC chip. But out of all the solutions I found, that seemed like the most simple one. I don't know how it handles things like key repeat. I guess we'll find out someday. Might not be very good, but probably enough to get the job done. Yeah. I think the PIC I'm using has like a 10-bit CPU or something weird like that in it. It has 34 instructions. So very, very sophisticated. I think it's 12F675 or something I think I ended up using. It's running someone else's code, you know, I don't want to learn the bloody thing if somebody else has already coded it, but it doesn't look particularly complicated from what there's source code for a different PIC out there. The 675s were cheaper than the one that has the source code available, so, but apparently it's based on the same code. I suppose it can't be that complicated if it's running on a PIC chip, like... There was something I wanted to get into years and years ago, PIC chips, but used to actually be quite expensive, at least here. Like, you could get them, but it usually had to be a special order from the electronics store, and your EEPROM programmers, your generic EEPROM programmers couldn't talk to them, like, and so you had to have a PIC programmer, which used to come in a stupid coloured plastic housing. It used to cost an absolute bloody fortune. They had specific software for developing for them, and that cost a lot of money, so that kind of put me off. Yeah, it doesn't seem unlikely. They certainly seem more like a supporting thing than a do-it-all-themselves type thing, don't they? I mean, even in this instance, they're technically like a supporting chip. Like, the XT is doing, like, the bulk of all the work. The PIC's just fiddling with signals in the middle. It's a good job I caught my wiring fault before I plugged it in. Otherwise I would have blown up the keyboard and possibly blown up the XT. Because the great thing with XTs is, like, at least ones like my one, where it's made largely out of discrete components, or at least individual ICs inside, is that you usually repair them. You know, the chipset is not integrated in the bloody thing, it's just a bunch of fucking glue logic and stuff. All the fucking 8259s and 823 whatevers are all hanging out. Everything else is just a bunch of 74s. The keyboard controller's its own fucking set of fucking ICs. You blow them up, you can just replace them. And to be honest, I probably will end up making a video about the Turbo XT, whether I end up liking it or not. Just purely because you can sort of see much more clearly how PCs work by looking at one, just because of that, because everything's separate and it's quite easy to see where all the traces go. Yeah, it is like a chip set. There are XT boards that have, like, usually fucking flat pack chips. I have seen them. And I'm surprised it doesn't have them, because it's from 1988. So, you know, they must have been just a really old design that they'd not bothered fixing. There's certain things about it make me think it probably was a modified 5-slot board design. And they've just modified it to take 8 slots, because there's like a couple of stray things on there that kind of suggest to me like it might well have been at one time. It's kind of like what they did on this 286, where they just took an 8-slot fucking Turbo XT board and slapped a second IRQ and DMA controller on it with bodge wires in the socket and went, there you go, now it's a 286 motherboard. But yeah, it's because of that, because it's largely discrete components, you really can see into how a PC works with them. It was one of the things I did like about the 5150 I had years ago, was that I could see, like, you know, you could look at it and you knew what was going on the board. Whereas as it all started disappearing into just one IC, it's not quite as obvious. Of course, this 286 is, at that time, it uses like 3 or 4 ICs for the chipset, but it's a lot less than what it had before. Still separate IRQ and DMA controllers and keyboard controllers, but a lot otherwise other than just little bits of 7.4 logic. Things to actually handle memory and the fucking ISA bus and stuff are largely in those chips. And they can do a few things like control weight states and shit that largely goes unused. I've never heard of it being done. I don't suppose it would be impossible, though, would it? I mean, you would have to modify it very extensively, but I actually do think it could be done. I mean, a lot of the supporting ICs are the same, like, between them. I was always amused by the idea that somebody would take an aged computer and just basically remove, like, things like bus control logic and just stuff an SBC in and just use it as a backplane. I was actually curious. I would never test it just because of the amount of irreversible damage I would have to do to test it. But I did always wonder if you could do it with that Zenith laptop, if you put an SBC in the expansion chamber, just because it's just the ISA bus coming out the back. If you ripped all the support logic off the fucking motherboard in it and had an SBC in that expansion box, would you then be able to run like a 486? Like, you know, if you got a 486 SBC and locked its video controller off, then surely, if nothing of the laptop's, like, you know, CPU or RAM or anything is connected anymore, the video chip in it is on the ISA bus, and surely it would just become a 486 laptop at that point. Like I say, I would never ever try this just because I would have to do so much damage to that laptop to test this theory, but I can't see why it wouldn't work, because, you know, the SBC isn't going to know the difference. In any case, we're into Division 3, and I'm going to leave it because I need to go and eat and sort the rodents out, and I might do some test writing. But as much as it wasn't the greatest stream, and it was never going to be because I've not done it for so long, and I still don't feel 100%, but a lot better than I couldn't have been doing this a couple of weeks back at all, I've had fun, and hopefully, you know, it's been okay to watch. I don't make people watch these things. What I'll do is we'll save this as, like, I can fit the word in there actually, can't I? Save that as stream 1, maybe we'll continue this in another stream, I don't know. Probably not. It's not a very interesting game. I probably will upload the Let's Play of it I did though, which I did just so I didn't go insane. Which again, it's not very interesting, but we'll upload it anyway, I guess. Even though I wanted to do that, you know, there was a patch where I couldn't record anything. I'll tell you what I'll do before I bail is I'll set this Geffen back to its regular bloody colour settings. And then I have a reference to remind me that I did, without having to come over here. But I do think the only fix for this problem is this setup tends towards red anyway for some reason. I think the only real fix for this particular thing is to mod the China converter. Like I say, if the screen and stuff can sync it, you don't have to use the China converter. I just use it more to protect the equipment, just because I don't really want to risk blowing my monitor up, or my splitter, or my Geffen, or anything. If someone's going to blow up, it's going to be that China converter, because they're like fucking only a few dollars. Don't mind killing that. I could do with getting a new one because the buttons broke off and all sorts on this, so I guess maybe we'll fix the next one. And then just leave this one as is and use it for, like, guinea pig things. I'd still like to be able to convert MDA, but as yet can't do it. So one thing I can do here is invert the sync. And now we're using a negative sync, and you can see it drifts over, there's delays and stuff. yeah, my bastardizer can do that, because it doesn't seem to be uniform on these bloody cards. But it's very easy to implement because it uses the LS86, which is a quad exclusive OR gate. So all you do is you put, say, input A, you just have a resistor going to like 5 volts, so input A is always on. And then you just feed the output of the XOR gate that has the sync signals going in, so it's composite sync out. You just shove that in there to input B, and then you'll get inverted sync. Or you could do it with, well, what you'd do if you had the, in my case I'm accounting for negative H, so I'm feeding the H sync, or was it the V? I don't remember, I'm tired. But anyway, you feed one of the sync signals into input A, and then you have the switch, like, and the resistor going to input B. So if input B is off, then obviously it's just going to output the signal that's coming into input A anyway, and then that goes to another gate with the V coming into B on that, and then you get composite sync. If the H sync's in, like, inverted, if it's negative, I throw that switch, and so then the XOR gate becomes a NOT gate. Keep it down to just one IC. Yeah, you might as well have a go. I mean, it probably won't look as good with resistor ladders, but it should work. I mean, obviously, EGA cards, your secondary outputs only happen in 64 colour mode, and finding something that will sync 64 colour mode is not likely to happen. Just pretty much nothing works with that, and it just doesn't work, like, great. But I mean, and you have to account for the fact the pinout does change. This bastardizer does not actually account for that mode, because it just, so few things use it and so few things work with it that it only really does RGBI. But that's not necessarily a problem. Oh, where's that bloody thing? I can't remember where it is. It had a bit in there, but I don't think it was. Was it that one? Oh, I might have compatibility problems here. Space Pigs, I don't know. I can maybe have a look before I go away if I have it on the machine. See if flipping the sync over does that. Yeah. Seems we have compatibility issues here. I don't think that's necessarily the bastardizer so much as the card just doesn't like it. Did I have it on here? Yeah, I did. SP Demo 1. I'm not sure it will work, because I think it's just a dodgy demo. It's an early PC demo. Rex won't work on here, because that needs VGA. Yeah, I'll let this run while I have a smoke. We just got a black screen. I don't think it likes this card. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the thing we're trying to limit the voltage is the outputs aren't really consistent on these cards. They don't seem to have been very careful with them. So you always have to adjust it from one card to another. You know, it seems that they just, fuck it, as long as it's enough to turn the transistors on in the monitor, like, it's close enough. It's not like analog where it has to be super precise to get the right colour. Yeah, I'm not convinced this demo really works very well, to be honest. I wonder what hardware it was written on. It seems to be more reliable on VGA cards, to be honest, and it makes me wonder if I'll sit here and smirk, like I say, in the hopes we'll reach the second scroller or something. But yeah, I do wonder, like, if this was developed on a VGA card and doesn't actually work on EGA hardware. PC demo scene was quite young at this point. Yeah, probably work. I suppose it might induce delay, though, is the thing. I mean, I certainly have, like, you know, things with delay on this, as we saw with the sync thing. I always feel because I have, like, an abundance of those 7.4s now, those LS86s, like, if I needed to boost them, I'd probably, to be honest, I could probably implement it anywhere because it's different between each fucking card. I'd do what I was on about, where I'd just use one of them as, like, 4 fucking if gates and just stick a pull-up resistor on the output or something. Yeah, this really doesn't seem to work on very much, this demo. But I'm not bothering to support... Oh, there we go. I wonder if maybe that's not supposed to appear until this point in the demo. I liked the popping sound that came out. I don't know if you would have heard that. It sure looks 80s though, like, you know, it's fucking... just reeks of that era. It's like, I could probably draw something like that. Where's that second scroll that hurts your eyes? But no, I'll be interested to see what you come up with and see if it works better than mine or not. I would imagine it's probably going to turn out about the same. I don't think it'll be much different. I think the second scroll is coming up now. There we go. Oh, it doesn't hurt as much to look at. It still looks like it's moving down though, it's weird. It definitely looks like it steps down, so it is jank, but it seems less jank somehow. It almost looks like more fucking writing. Yeah, the sort of shadow bugs out and then it drops a pixel or two, doesn't it? I wonder what it'll do if I change the clock speed. Oh, fucking hell. 2 megahertz makes quite a difference when your machine's this slow. So the performance actually drifts on this thing depending on the weather. You lose like 1/3 of a megahertz or gain one and you'd start noticing when it's like fucking 20% of your clock speed. Like, that actually looks quite nice now. Yeah, we're on 8 megahertz now. It's, everything on the board is rated to take this speed as long as wait states are on. And I don't want wait states off because I do want like 5170 performance out of this thing. The hard drive controller doesn't like this speed much. It makes disk access slower. And plus, if we start using floppy disks, it slows down even more because it just puts everything back to basically XT speeds to do that. It's something a lot of these old machines seem to do for some reason. It is definitely less painful to look at on an EGA card for some reason. It seems a bit smoother. Well, even when the clock's down there, it's less jank, definitely. I can't remember if there's a way to exit this demo. Yeah, just the escape key. Oh well, I'm gonna bail. But thanks for tuning in and stuff. I guess I'll be back for the fucking next one, whenever it'll be. I have no schedule, but I'll see about getting the Athlon set up at some point and maybe yell at Potter or something. Or maybe I'll just do something else. I don't know. By now I might as well leave Banjo-Kazooie for fucking Christmas a few years later. Like, what's another couple of months going to do? And I can't be asked to set the N64 up anywhere anytime soon. And hopefully the camera keeps fucking working, because I don't know why it suddenly started working. That crash seemed to make it work, even though the capture card was fine, so... I don't know. Fuck knows. But anyways, yeah, I'm out. Thanks for watching and stuff. Yeah. Right.